You know it's lit when you got Raider Twine in the building. Today we talking position battles in training camp, and we're grading all the positions. Back in with us. Welcome to Bart. Next stop, position.
Just win, baby.
Raider. Talking Raiders today, y'all. What's good with y'all? What's good with y'all? What's good in your hoodie? It's your boy Black, the quarterback, and I'm with my boy, the chaplain, the Raider chaplain himself. Raider Twine, what's good with you?
What's good, man? What's good? Blessings to everybody on the day, man.
For sure, man. Today we're gonna talk about these position battles, man. We're gonna talk about these position. Well, it's not really the battles. It's going into the battle. So we're gonna grade the group before they go into battle, and then once we trim down the roster, we're gonna talk about our positions. Then we're gonna grade them, and then we're gonna see what our team look like going into the season. But let's see what our team look like going into the training camp. Now, if y'all ain't peeped this video right here last night, I did about Mike Washington Jr., where people said he couldn't run in the inside and he just like to run to the outside and he don't have no patience and lack vision in between the tackles. Make sure y'all go look at that video. And if y'all not convinced, then I don't know what's gonna do it. So check it out. Man, the early squad was in the building. We had Bruce Willis. Was good with brother. Was good with Sacktown Raider Mike. Was good with brother. Oh man, let's see. Daniel Barry, what's good with you? Let's see who else is in here. Marcus Banks was good. We got everybody in the building. We Tyler, okay. Andrea. Oh, there y'all popped out today, but so let's get into it then. Because we're gonna need you guys' help today. We're gonna need the chat's help today. And can y'all put in the chat what area code you representing for the Raiders? 510 over here. So where y'all representing the Raiders? Put it in the chat. So okay, so we decided we were going to talk about the offense first. Okay, so we're going to start with. Is that what we said? We're going to start the offense first.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
gonna.
yeah. Okay. We're going to start with the offense first, and we're going to start with the quarterback room. Let's start quarterback, and I got a love for the quarterbacks. Let's start with the quarterbacks. So on the roster, we have three quarterbacks right now. We have cousin Kirk Cuzzo, Turco Bangs, whatever you want to call him, and we got El Capitan Fernando Mendoza, the Mandalorian, and then we got AOC. No, I'm just playing. We got 8012. We got I'm telling y'all, we do got the best quarterback room in the NFL. If not the best, we definitely top five. So with that being said, as my precursor, we're gonna grade the quarterback room. So going into this training camp, brother, what do you think about our quarterback room and the grade that you want to give them?
You know what? I actually like this. I like this group. I give it. I give it an A. You have stability in Kirk Cousins, and then in my opinion, I think you know Aiden O'Connell is next in line, and that just allows Fernando Mendoza, who's supposed to be the future of this franchise. And I say supposedly because we don't know how he's going to pan out in the NFL. We know how he looked in college, but we don't know how it's going to pan out in the NFL. But we got some people to allow him some time to grow and to get better and take his little lumps and grow. So I'm liking this group. I definitely give it an A.
Oh, that's a good grade. That's a good high grade right there. Man, you know, and let me write this down because we are going to do the averages of our of the offense and then the average of the defense, and then we'll do an average of the team. So I would probably agree with you on that, brother. I'm going to agree with you on that, brother, because I think we have a very good quarterback room, especially for a new head coach to come in. Usually, he comes in, he wants to bring his quarterback in. A lot of times it's a draft pick, and you run with the quarterback that you have because the quarterback that you have is going to define the regime that you have. But in this case, we did something very special. Not only did we go and get the number one pick in the draft as a quarterback, we even reached into free agency and traded or whatnot for Kirk Cousins. I don't remember, did we trade for him or was he a free agent? But either way it go, we got him out the market. I think he was a free agent, but we got him out the market.
Yeah, it was a free agent.
And yeah, okay, great. So he was so we went into free agency and we grabbed a real competent quarterback. Even if we weren't to get the first round pick, and I mean the first number one pick in the quarterback, this would have been a competent quarterback to start with. He's better than Geno Smith, who we had. He's better than Gardner Minshew that we had, and he's better than Garoppolo, who we've had, and the rest of the quarterbacks that we had. So the only knock really on this guy is that his age, but I don't see that really being an issue for this guy. Uh, so, Kirk Cousins is somebody I've liked for a while, and I'm glad that we have him. So I'm going to agree with you, and I'm going to give this quarterback team as quarterback champ a A minus, but it's an A nevertheless. What do you guys give it? What do you guys give the quarterback room grade? How do you grade this quarterback room this year so far going into camp? 916, I see you. Okay, 916 is the one that's winning right now. Okay. So let's see what they say. Let's see what people say. 408, I see the 408. All right. Jack Booster, I see you in here too. So we so far. So we're gonna give the quarterback room a A, and that brings us to the next room, the running back room. Now we don't know exactly who's there, but we do know Jeanty's gonna be there. Mike Washington Jr. look like he's gonna be there, and some people are kind of penciling in Hemby. Some people are penciling in Dylan Lobby. Some people don't want Lobby in there. Going into camp, they're there on the roster. So with those guys, and if there's any other players I've not mentioned, that's because they're not on my radar. That doesn't mean I don't like them. That doesn't mean they're good, not good. It just means that they're not on my radar. And hopefully by the time the end of camp, they're either on the radar or off the radar. But with those guys, what are you grading the running back?
This one's a little tougher than just giving a grade, right? I think in regards to Jeanty, we know what Jeanty's going to bring to the table. We have a question mark on Mike Washington. We don't know. We see kind of what he did in college. He does kind of have a ball security issue that we're hoping that he shores up, and that's where, as far as I'm going, that's as far as I can actually really give a grade, because I don't like Lobby. You know what I'm saying? And Hemby, we don't know what that's going to bring. There's definitely some question marks in competition for that running back room. So my grade is going to be going off of Jeanty and Mike Washington, and I give that one a B. I think there's there's some concerns there, but one thing that I do like about the room, and I'll say this, is that these guys, when you break it all down, they can do everything: run inside, run outside, and also pass catch. We got to figure out also pass protection for Mike Washington. How well can he do that? I remember Jeanty when he first came out. That was one of the biggest concerns that we had in regards to Jeanty getting snaps and being out there on the field, was that he didn't have the pass pro. Did he improve? Absolutely. He's probably well, obviously he's a whole lot better now than what he was when he started. So yeah, I give it a B.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, especially with when it comes to Jeanty. Pass protection was a concern of mine. I thought maybe that's kind of why they were tinkering with his stance, but it seemed like that. Well, it turned out that was just something that Chip Kelly was throwing into the game, or whoever did it. I'm not going to throw it necessarily on Chip Kelly. He was the one I seen talk about it, but um, they let him be him when I'm talking about Jeanty, and he definitely improved in his pass protection to the point that I'm not seeing an issue with it. Earlier in the season, you could tell that he was having necessarily a difficult time trying to see who he was supposed to pick up, but a lot of that confusion came from the O-line, a lot of times not knowing who to guard themselves. So as time went on, he did get better. Now, I like him. He's an A for me, right? But we're talking about the whole entire room. And so Hemby, I don't know a lot about him. I know a lot of people in the nation like him. That remains to be seen. That's I don't know, C for me. So we're at a B average. And so then we go to Mike Washington Jr. Now, this is a guy that I think is going to be a very, very good pickup for us. I do have concerns when it comes to ball security, and but other than that, I think he's a home run for us as far as uh, being a backup running back. So I would probably give him a B. So with that said, I'm going to give the room itself a B. We do have Dylan Lowry. Some people don't like him. From what I understand, he's a good fit for our team. A lot of teammates like him. He did fumble the first time he carried the ball, so that's going to always hang over his head. Um, so that gives me like a B minus for the room. Doesn't really move the room, but I'll give the room a B. So I'll say the running back room is a B. That's what you gave it, a B?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool Cab. What's up with Cool Cab? I see a uh, couple grades in here. The QB room is an A.
Yeah, definitely let us know. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Let
yeah,
us know what position and then put your grade.
yeah. And so Adrian says A for the QB room. Now Sacktown Raider says he concurs with us. The running back room is a B minus. Yeah, yes, B minus. I say B minus. Yeah. So so for sure, I'll give that a B minus. But we're doing whole grade, so it's a B. Uh, okay, so let's get to the tight ends. Well, let's go to the tight end position, should I say. And this is a position where we have, I believe, like four tight ends. I think we have Brock Bowers. No, I know we have at least three. Let me look at the roster. We got Brock Bowers,
Michael Mayer.
Michael Mayer, and I believe we have Ian. What's his name? Let's see. Oh, we have Albert with the Albert. Oh, I don't know a lot about him as far as what he's looking like. We got Carter Runyon. See, that's why I don't necessarily want to name. I mean, not that I don't want to name him, but Ian Thomas, which is a blocking back that we brought back. So that's really our tight end group right there. So, what are your thoughts about the tight end um, position that we have?
I think they're going to be bringing the band back together. You know, you got Brock Bowers, you got Michael Mayer, and then you also have, you know, Ian Thomas, who was the guy that was the third, you know, He was more of a, he was a blocking, he definitely is a good blocking, I'm saying, tight end. That's something that they did ask of him, but there was a time where he actually, due to injury, he was actually, catching passes and stuff like that. So we know that he has that versatility to his game. Um, I give it an A. I think everybody in that room is solid. Michael Mayer actually has got better in his blocking. We know that he can catch the ball. We know that that was one of the issues that was one of the concerns in Raider Nation, right? When we had Michael Mayer and then we drafted Brock Bowers, people were like, "What are we doing?" Right? Because Michael Mayer was that guy. Now, there is, mental concerns and stuff like that, but I think that might be just water under the bridge at this point. Um, with him, definitely, we would love to get more production out of that, but I really give it a solid A. I really don't think I can jump down to a B in regards to our tight end room, because I think if you just breaking down the two tight ends that are probably going to be out there more often than others, I think they're both starters at the tight end position.
Yeah, this position it's not really all the way tricky, but it's kind of tricky to the point, like, obviously Brock is an A, and 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 Mayer, he's definitely, I would probably grade him a A minus B plus, because he do what we ask him to do. He does what we ask him to do, and but I'm not wowed by him. But I'm just kind of on the fence with him. But like you said, it seemed like the things that was going on with him is in the past, and that is a concern of mine. It was a concern of mine, not so much now. I last year when he came in, they were smacking him though, but he was holding on to the ball, he was catching the ball, so he was doing what was asked of him. The thing that I'm not really sure about is they usually don't play together at the same time, and we're going to be running a lot of 12 and 13 personnel. So I'm thinking that maybe that'll kind of double our pleasure. So I'm gonna agree with you, and I'm gonna go with the A minus for this tight end group, because we have a football robot from heaven. Not too many people get that compliment, so there's no way our room can't be an A if we got one of those in there. So I'm gonna go with an A with that as well. So far we got an A, B, and an A for the quarterback, running back, and tight end group. Let me read some of you guys' response. Who Kev says the QB room is a B for him. Maybe you can tell us why it's a B. He says a B for the running backs and a tight end, B minus. Boy, tough crowd, tough crowd, tough crowd. 805 Raider was good with you. So Sacktown Raider Mike says A plus for the tight end room. See, that's a discrepancy right there. It's a discrepancy. B minus to an A plus. But yeah, but there's no right or no wrong in this. This is just our opinion. This is definitely just truly our own opinion. So let's move to the wide receivers, and I'm going to save the trenches for last. Let's go, because everything is contingent on that. So this is going to be the toughest bunch out of the group. The wide receivers. So we have Derek Young, E.J. Williams Jr. These are the people that's on the roster. Trey Tucker, Dante Thornton. Let's see. Chase Roberts. Well, I think he was released. Jalen Naylor. Just want to make sure I don't miss nobody. Brandon Johnson. Oh, no, we brought him in, I think. Yeah, Brandon Johnson. And Cedric Jackson, Bo Jackson Peoples. So, with those wide receivers in mind, and we got Philip Dorsett, it looks like, as well, with those wide receivers in mind, what do you? Oh, Malik Benson. Can't forget about Malik Benson and Jack Besh, JB. So with this young group, the who's who in this group, it's probably gonna be the toughest group to grade. How do you see this group, and Nation? How do you see this group going into camp?
I give it a C. I give it a C. Um, I don't really see. Um, and when I say that, because I want to make it clear, um, I believe that Kubiak can make them as a collective work, but when you look at it on paper, there's not really anybody that you can say is going to instill fear on an opposing team. It's really going to take the collective, you know what I'm saying, and making sure that Kubiak puts them specifically in certain places based on, you know, routes and all of that, for it to work. Is that possible? Absolutely. But looking at the roster on paper, you know, we didn't really see much from the second year guys. Well, they're a second year this year. And the vets again, do they really instill fear in opposing teams? Is there somebody that on a week to week basis that team is saying we need to keep an eye out on this person? I don't think it's that. So I give it a C.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. There's not a person on here that they're going to double team, it looks like. You don't have to roll the coverage on to a person's side that he's going to be on. And Kubiak, like you said, is going to do a lot of scheming for these guys and maybe make them better or perform at a level higher than what the room is dictating. I mean,
Yeah.
I agree with you that this group is a C group, but I do believe Kubiak can make them look like a B. You know what I'm saying? We in a bucket, but we're riding it like it's a Benz, like Pac say. So I think that we're gonna look better than we actually are, and then we're gonna be able to see players be able to rise to the top because of the competition level being so even. So I do give this group a C as well. With you. So we're like having a meeting of the minds when it comes to this wide receiver group, and it's hard to put them at a B level because there's not a star. Like our best receiver is at 700 yards, having broken 800 yards.
Yeah.
But there's definitely room for growth there because I think Jay Best is going to be great for us. I think he's going to have a what they would call a breakout season. If you go from 200 yards to like 400 or 450, I would consider. I don't know if that's necessarily a breakout, but if you double your production, then it could technically be called a breakout. I think Dante Thornton's going to do okay. I think Naylor is going to be solid. I think Trey Tucker is going to be solid. And I think we're just missing a veteran wide receiver there and someone that commands presence on that defense to keep the eyes off of Bowers so much. So if they double team or they bracket or whatever to Bowers, we need receivers that's going to make them pay. So with that said, I'm going to go with a C as well, along with the nation. I did forget our fullback, Hayward, for the running backs. It doesn't change my grade. It just makes it a more solid B because we have a fullback. It's just a more solid B. I don't know if that would change your grade. I just didn't want to leave him out.
Who? I'm sorry.
Hayward, our fullback.
Nah, it doesn't change much to me.
Connor Hayward, yeah.
I mean, it The only way that it would change something for me is if, you know, he's going to be a a fixture. You know what I'm saying? Like he's really there's gonna be plays, you know what I'm saying, specifically for him. I think he's just gonna be like an assist to what we got, but who knows? You know what I'm saying? He might be used like the Niners use, use check or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And that might be, but then I might have to change my grade a little bit. You know, on that, but no. Wide receiver wise, and I'll say this, in regards to my C grade, I do like that we do have speed. And it's just not just one person. We have multiple guys that are, you know, um, in the speed caliber. Um, so we'll just see again what Kubiak does, how he places these guys strategically. Um, right now at this point, um, we're hoping that teams are focused on Brock Bowers so that the wide receivers are able to do what it do. Um, but um, we want to get to a place where we're not relying on another position to hold up for another position. You know what I'm saying? We need the wide receivers to be a threat. We need the tight ends to be a threat by themselves. You know what I'm saying? We need the running backs to be a threat by themselves. You know what I'm saying? Obviously everybody's relying on the offensive line, but offensively, but we want every room to be a threat on their own, and I don't necessarily fully see that in the wide receiver room. Now they can have like you said, there's room for growth. There's definitely room for some upside, you know what I'm saying, types of situations, but right now, yeah, I give it a C.
Yeah, and I'm saying going into camp because we haven't seen them play. We're grading the roster itself, not who's starting or anything like that. We're just grading the players we have going into camp. Now, what could change this grade for me though is one of the most important things about being a wide receiver. Like I say, I'm like the quarterback, but I started off at receiver, and I'm
Mm,
definitely a better receiver than I am when I was a quarterback. Um, and I know more about being a wide receiver than it is to know about quarterback. But there's so much more to know about quarterback. So my knowledge is kind of, I don't want to say vast, but it has different perspectives. But being a wide receiver, what can change my grade, like make the grade go up a little higher from like
mm,
a C to a B, is if I see in these preseason games how our wide receivers block. Because in this offense, they're going to be required to block a lot. And if they are able to block, then you can bring something to the table like that. Because what happened is that'll make the run game a whole lot better. That'll make a receiving core better. So that way, when we do get those quick passes in the trips or in the bunch, then we're able to make things happen. Or if they
mm,
throw it to a Jeanty or they throw it to a Mike Washington Jr., and then they're able to get down the field because they're already hard to tackle as it is. So if we get our wide receivers blocking, then that can up the grade for me from like a C or to a B minus or something like that. So that's what I'm going to be looking at for when it comes to the wide receivers. Okay, so Rebel, what's good with you, brother? Lou, what's good? So um, let's get to the trenches. Trenches, man. Let's get to the trenches. Let me look at our roster. I know the first person is going to be Spencer Burford. And we have DJ Glaze, Charles Grant, Nicholas Henning, Isaiah Jada. You are you familiar with them players? with those
No,
last two. Yeah,
no.
Antonio Mafi. So like I said, I'm going with off the main guys really though. Colton Miller, Jackson Powers Johnson, the law firm of Jackson Powers Johnson, Caleb Rogers, and Trey Zoom the third. Trey. So the O-line room. This where may be a little bit of discrepancy. I already see a grade in the chat that I don't know. So what do you got? What do you got for the O-line room?
I give it a C. And because
Oh,
we
I forgot
don't,
Tyler Lindenbaum. I don't know how I could forget Tyler Lindenbaum.
yeah, I still give it a C. Kind of based off of what we saw last year, but also the guys that we're going to be relying on. I think they're average. Um, we have two guys that you can say possibly are above average, and then everybody else is kind of like, okay, well, let's just see how this goes. Um, and again, with the grade, I feel like you got Linderbaum and you got, Colton Miller. And those guys, Colton Miller is a guy that also has injury, um, coming off of an injury, right? Concerns. So we'll see how that plays out. I really give it a C. I don't think I can get to a B going into camp. Have we got better?
Oh,
Yes. Because if you ask me, you know, based off the line we had last year and how they how they produced, yeah, it would be south of a C, but um yeah, C.
okay. What do you guys think in the chat? What do you guys think in the chat? Because I want to hear what you guys think about this O line. Go on and put it out there, y'all. I know some of y'all don't want to put your. Because I think y'all starting to kind of understand black a little bit. I take my notes and I do the research and I do the education and then I hold people to what they say to stand on. And they might not want to put what they think in the chat because then I'm gonna be like, hey, did you say this earlier? Can't change your mind because I see the nation is changing their mind on a few things that I've been preaching since the beginning of the off season. And we'll talk about a little bit of that after this, after we do our grading system. But what I will say about this O line, I'm going to give this O line a solid B. Like last year, I knew our O line wasn't as bad as advertised. I knew it was the play calling. I knew it was the offensive coordinator not putting our players in the best position to succeed. I saw how they were lining up and who they were asked to block and things like that. So it was an issue. It was just so many things that made our line look like an F line. And I know our line was not an F. Now, was our line a D? I would say no. It was more like a C minus. Uh, but the injuries made it a D. Now, as far as the injuries, I'm not concerned about a high ankle sprain. I'm not worried about an ankle sprain from JPJ. I'm not concerned about no concussions. I'm not concerned about Colton Miller injury. I'm not concerned about none of that. I know one thing we upgraded, we got a center and we got an A+ center. And so I know that everything in the trenches start with the center. And then it goes to the left tackle. Like I keep saying, we have a yacht of an O line. We got two anchors. When you play yacht, you got to have two anchors. We get that good left tackle that is hard to get in the NFL and have somebody stay there where you can actually rely on that person. I get it. Injuries is part of the game. That's what we've been seeing out of Colton Miller, but he ain't no injury prone guy. He didn't start his season off being injured all the time. It's just that injury caught up with him a little bit, and he's handling it. That's it's part of the game. It's inherently part of the game. But a high ankle sprain, I'm not tripping off that. So we got JPJ, young guy. We got Trey Zoom. We got somebody that can play multiple positions. We have Spencer Burford. From we got a little bit of depth, or we got experience with him. We have uh, Charles Grant, who's on the bubble. Carlos Rogers, who's on the bubble. Players that we need to see. We didn't get to see a lot of them last year, so we went from a decrepit O line to having an O line with a level of um, backups with some depth in our O line. Now we just need to see if they can perform, because I think this O line can get to an A level straight out. And it's going to be shown by the how many yards we get rushing and how many breakout wide receivers that we have, and we're going to see Mayer and Bowers go crazy. So I'm seeing our O line at a B right now, a solid B at that. So maybe you guys don't agree with that, but I'm telling you, when that start happening, don't be surprised. So I give this a B. So this is the first time that we kind of deviated from our grades. So let's see what everybody think. Willie Wayne was good with you. What do you think? I mean, what do you think about what I had to say, Twan?
We didn't get to the same, I'm saying, same grade, but we still kind of in the ballpark. I think also to your answer, because again, I like to see both sides of things. We know that we had concerns in regards to the coaching that was put on these offensive linemen. So that might have been the dip for me. That was like, well, you know what I'm saying? So we're hoping and very hopeful that the coaching staff that we have this year is definitely an upgrade from what we saw last year. So yeah, that gives your, what I'm saying, that gives your point a little boost um, in grade for real.
Yeah, I see the nation is opinionated about our O line. Rated Rebel says Glaze needs to be pushed this year, or the O line will suffer. I don't know if he'll suffer, but he does need to be pushed. Um, he's been a solid piece. I personally think he's going to be pushed this camp. I think Charles Grant is definitely going to turn a corner this year, because they are going to get more opportunities. The last regime with Pete Carroll, he wasn't necessarily feeling reliant on the young players. But I understand why. If you're going to come in with a regime, you don't want to just rely on rookies, because they're unpredictable, and they haven't understood the game yet and the speed of the game. So I can see where Glaze needs to be pushed, and I do believe and I do agree with you on that. We see Raiders for Life says, I think the O line got to go from Colton Miller, JPJ, Lindenbaugh, maybe Rogers and Zoom. So what do you mean you mean Colton Miller and JPJ need to be replaced by those two guys? If that's what you're saying, there's something about throwing a guy out there to play left tackle with lack of experience in the NFL that concerns me. It concerns me equally of like getting rid of your edge rusher, especially if you have a productive edge rusher. Those are like two players along with a solid corner. It's hard for me to pivot off those guys if you have somebody there that you know that's good. Uh, and then another one I saw on here was this O line without Kappa is a B plus already, so it's an upgrade. It's an upgrade without Kappa on here, and I do agree. Like if you take him off, that F line would be a D line, and we know that we have a better coach on the O line this year with Rick Dennison, um, and then you know that Coach Kubiak is definitely going to coach to the strengths of our O line. So I give it a B. I give it a B for that reason. Let's see. Jackie Yates say he think the O line is good. So let's see what else. Who else? Okay, so let's add up our grades, like old school way you do it in school. So I give the quarterbacks A, which is 4. The running backs was what, a B, which is 7. Wide receivers was a C, which is 9. And I give the O line a B, so that's 9, 10, 11, 12. So with 12 divided by 4 is 3. So that gives my offense a B. I'm giving the offense a B overall. And so yours is like 11. So yours is like a C plus, right? So does that kind of correlate with how you feel about the O line overall?
O-line or the offense?
I mean the offense. I'm sorry, the whole offense overall. What's the grade that you would give offense overall?
Yeah, that's about right. C plus. We got a lot of young guys. A lot of young guys. And yeah, definitely a C plus for me. I think that actually rolls right where I'm at. Okay, kind of in the middle.
Kind of in the middle.
There is certain guys that stick out, pop out, on the offensive line, but it's not. On the offense, but it's not like we got a whole thread out there. You know what I'm saying, in all areas. So yeah, I'm in the middle.
So it sounds like the
leaning towards, again, we're going north though.
We're trending north, right? And it seems like the concern though is the wide receiver room is what is kind of bringing that hesitancy. Would I be correct with that?
Yeah, I would say so. Because I look at it in this perspective too. Like you have, in every game, right? There might be a situation where we came in and wanted to run the ball. And let's just say the running game ain't there. Then who's gonna, who's gonna put the team on their back offensively? You know what I'm saying? If our running game ain't there, and I hate to say this publicly, but that's a game plan for the rest of these teams. Stop the run, and then in a pass situation, you better keep an eye out on Brock Bowers. Make anybody else beat us besides Brock Bowers in the pass game. You know what I'm saying? So that, with that being said, like there could be times where we get, you know what I'm saying, we might get shut down because if the running game ain't popping and we gotta, you know what I'm saying, we still gotta try to move the chains, and they're, you know what I'm saying, double or whatever teaming Brock Bowers. Not saying that he can't beat a double team, but I'm just saying, like, who else is gonna carry the torch? Okay. We ain't expecting Kirk Cousins to run.
So chat raiders, what do you guys think the grade is for the offense overall? What would you grade the offense overall? And so then I'm gonna ask you this, Twan, because this is gonna be like the joker for the offense. So now, you're on the fence, and you say that the offense is like a C plus, and you say that if they kind of if they stop the run, and we don't have anything on offense going from the receiver position, who's going to step up? And so my question is, does the offensive coordinator, or in this case, the head coach and offensive coordinator, does that bump the grade up? Or do you think he's going to bump the grade up for you? Is Kubiak scheming? Is that enough to bump your C plus to a B minus?
It would. It would, because I think, especially in year one of Kubiak, we're really going to be relying on, you know what I'm saying, him to scheme things open. You know what I'm saying, and do that for us offensively. Now, that's not going to be the end all be all story, you know what I'm saying, down the line, because I'm hoping that Spy Tech, as time goes by, we're either drafting guys, you know what I'm saying, that can instill the fear in opposing teams, or we're bringing in free agents that, hey, now we got, you know what I'm saying, a number one wide receiver that may not necessarily be getting the ball all the time, but he's scaring the heck out of some people, where they got to take a whole segment of they week to figure out how we gonna contain, you know what I'm saying, whoever, you know what I'm saying. There's a name that I really like if we make a trade for it, but and you know, that might be a whole nother discussion, but yeah, that's where I'm at. Right now we're really hanging our hat offensively on how well Kubiak can put the pieces that we do have together. But if you're looking at player, just personnel wise, I'm still with the C plus.
Okay, so player personnel wise, you give it a C plus, but if you add the coaching and the coordinator with it, then it can bump it up to the B minus area for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. Because that's where I am with the team with the coaching as well. I'm gonna give it a solid B. So maybe I should have said the roster as it presents itself to me as a B minus, and then and I mean, like, you know how you get like a 79%, but the coach, I mean, but the teacher might give you the B minus anyway. That's
Yeah.
kind of where I was with it, and maybe like at the 80, you know, at 80, so you really get the B. So it could have went anyway, either way. So it depends on your attendance or if the teacher likes you or not. So that's where I was now with Kubiak. I'm going to give it a solid B. So let me correct what I was saying. I'm going to give it a solid B now with Kubiak, for the simple fact that what you were saying, if we aren't able to run the ball, right? I don't think that's going to be an issue, because we're going to run the ball whether we get 2 yards of carry, whether we get 5 yards of carry, whether we get 4 yards of carry, because we're going to keep the defense honest regardless. So I don't think that we're gonna have to change our offense depending on if they stop the run game, because we're going to be so dedicated to the run that you got to keep the defense honest, that even if they know that it's not working, they still got to focus on that all game long. And then if they do try to, all right, they're setting up the pass because we know they're going to keep running, then they back up a little bit, then that might turn our 2 yards of carry to a 3 yards of carry, or 3.5 yards of carry. So I'm not really concerned about us not being able to establish the run. I think we're going to establish the run because we have because we have Clint Kubiak.
Yeah, Kubiak is definitely the straw that stirs the drink. You know what I'm saying? I really believe that we're better because we got a Kubiak. And I looking at it in that situation, I also have to look at it, you know what I'm saying, in the perspective of, let's just say we had an average, you know what I'm saying, just an average in NFL coach with the roster, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's why, I do say, yeah, we're going to take, we take a jump because we got Kubiak. But if it was just some average Joe Blow NFL coach, yeah, we would be at
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, make them respect us. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, we're gonna make them respect us for sure. So what do you guys? So what do you guys in the chat? What do you guys give a grade overall for the offense with Clint Kubiak being the signal caller or the head of the signal callers? Because a lot of people say, "Well, he doesn't call plays and stuff like that." Yeah, I get it. What he does is he relies on everyone in the coaching to um, to help with the game plan and things like that. And like he said, anybody can call the play. Anybody can say wristband play 16. But what it does take is a collective collaborative effort from everybody. So with Clint Kubiak being the point man in that, does that bump your grade up any higher? So put it in the chat. With the offense grade overall with Clint
And
Kubiak.
and also, I'm agreeing with Black, but also for the sake of conversation, tell us like I did. I was a C plus, and then with Kubiak, it took me up to B minus, right? So tell me the jump. You know what I'm saying? If there is a jump, you might be at you might be at a B and you might stay at a B. You know what I'm saying? Say that too, but also let us know if it where you jump from. You know what I'm saying? Because some people another on a big jump, you might say, hey, I was a C, but with Kubiak, it's an A. You know what I'm saying? However that jump is, let us know.
Yeah, for sure. And I see a couple of you guys saying it's hard to say without the tapes or without being in pads and all that. I mean, like let's use our imagination to some degree, because I know when we draft players, we did a draft grade. We graded the draft. You graded it based on something. We haven't seen them play in the NFL yet, but we graded the draft, the players in the draft, or we say we knocked the draft out the park this offseason and we got an A. So use that. You go through the same vein that you use for that for this. I know that we don't know because we haven't seen them play, but we can make a guesstimation, and that's what we're doing, making a guesstimation. That's why when this is over, when the camp is over, we're gonna double back, and then we're gonna regrade this when it's time to hit the field. And then I know that you're gonna say, "Well, we don't know because they're not playing a real game." Then what we'll do is mid-season or at the bye week or something. But use your imagination there. Now, I want to turn to the trenches. I want to turn to the trenches on the defense. I want to start there. Um, let's see who's on the roster, because what we do know it is Maxx Crosby, right? Let's see. Let's look at the what happened to my. Maybe you can name some people up until I get. I don't know.
Maxx Crosby.
Okay, here we go. Yeah. So, we have Thomas Booker, Adam Butler, Brandon Cleveland, Ron Crawford, Maxx Crosby, Tonka Hemingway, Benito Jones, Malcolm Kuntz, Jonah Laulu. Let's see, Quiddy Pay, JJ Pegues. I don't know. This sounds kind of solid to me, y'all. Tian Sloan, Rocky Tassi, and that looks about it. Yeah. So with those guys, Tonka Truck. I like that. So so on defense, I'll go first. So this is tough for me. This is tough because the D line is the who's who of our defense. Because when our defense don't thrive, it's usually because of the D line. Like we are setting up our D line to go after the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes, so we kind of build our defense around that. In stopping quarterbacks that scramble and extend plays and throw the ball and things like that, and run the ball. So with this D line, Coach Robbie is the D line coach. This is tough for me because we have players there. I know that a lot of us believe we need to get a D tackle, but I love what I saw out of Tonka. Uh, uh, I definitely like that in his spot play. What was the other? JJ Pegues. He played well I think they both had like 4 sacks in limited play. So I like what I see there. I'm not necessarily in love with it since we're running the 3-4, but we're only going to be running the 3-4 like a small portion of the time. I think we're going to be in the nickel and the dime primarily. And so for me, this D line with the addition of Quiddy Pay and mental reps, y'all know who I call mental reps, Ron Crawford. Um, that's my guy. I think that our D line is at a B minus until proven different. I'll give our D line a B minus because we do have depth, we do have players there. I think we have some run stoppers there because I do like what we have with the Maxx Crosby and the Quiddy Pay to stop the run. And Kuntz, I don't know what's up with him because I know he ended up getting the job really because of how he played at the end of the year with AP, but I'm not seeing it. But we have stuck someone there with Keyron Crawford, and I think he's going to come off that edge like a bat out of hell, and he's going to make some things really really happen. So, and I know some people are going to say, "Well, he's a linebacker." Yeah, we know he's going to primarily be like an edge rusher. So I give this D line a B minus. So it's a B for me.
I agree. I tried to. I'm gonna be honest with you, Black. I tried to give another grade. You know what I'm saying? Just to kind of add some flavor to it. But I'm right there with the B minus. There is some upside there because there is a lot of young guys in there. We got a lot of rookies and a lot of second year guys that are going to be fighting for, you know what I'm saying, for a rotation. And it's going to be really on Robbie Leonard how he deploys these guys schematically, but the D line coach is definitely going to have to be working with these guys and getting them active. You know what I'm saying? I call Malcolm Kuntz Waldo. You know what I'm saying? Where is he? You know what I'm saying? Type of situation. Now, Keyron Crawford, I saw him at the softball event, and he looked bigger than I thought he was. So I'm actually excited about Keyron Crawford and what he's going to bring to the edge. So yeah, I give that a B minus. I definitely give that a B minus. The question is though, who's going to be that run stuffing nose for us? There's a few guys in the room, but who's going to emerge as the bona fide, you know what I'm saying, anchor per se on that D line in the middle?
Right. And that's going to be important because if they run away from Maxx, run away from Pay, the middle is probably where they're going to try to go to. Maybe even the other side where Kuntz is, and maybe even Keyron Crawford, because he's going to be primarily like a pass rusher. I don't think they're relying on him to be the run stopper, so to speak. So, yeah, I give it a B until further notice, B minus. That could go up or go down depending on how Maxx plays, and then and not only how he plays, but how he plays as far as rotationally. Are they going to allow him to be a rotational guy? Also, there's a lot of concerns with Maxx being in the 3-4. I'm not necessarily concerned like a lot of people, but I can see the concern.
He's gonna have to, just be a little more mindful, you know what I'm saying, in regards to when it's really his, job to contain, when he's called to do that for specific reasons and such. But yeah, I do like our D line. I do. They're very young. Again, very energetic. I think the old guy in the room is Adam Butler. He can be a mentor to some of these guys. Um, you know, but they're just gonna have to buckle down and get it done. We we need we need more sacks out of our D line.
Yeah, I agree. We definitely need more sacks from our D line. So that's what give me a B minus there. Is like we definitely need more sacks. Um,
And we
yeah, that's what it's gonna boils down to, really.
and we definitely don't want it to be a situation like we saw in the past where, we Maxx Crosby and Ngakwe were collapsing the edge, but there was nobody, in the middle to collapse the, collapse the middle. That there would be times where, Ngakwe and Maxx Crosby were collapsing the sides, quarterback would step up and there was nobody to clean it up. So I'm really, you know, yeah, I'm excited about, Keyron Crawford, but I'm really excited or interested in seeing who's going to really step up in the middle of this defense.
Yeah, we got Lockie Tassi, right?
Yeah, hey,
So
there's some upside there, big body, but he's still learning how to spell football. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like
right.
he's still trying to get, you know what I'm saying, how to do what it do. So, we're hoping that the coaching can get him up to speed, because definitely he's a really nice specimen that you could definitely body wise put in the middle of that defense. But yeah, he has a lot of work to do.
For real. Bruce Willis says Lockie should be eat shit sleeping the nose tackle position 24/7 if he wants to stay in the NFL. Yeah, and he just needs to trim down a little bit. And I think he will, though. I think he'll do what it takes. I definitely do think he's going to do what it takes. But we're going to at least find out that we have someone there we can work with. Excuse me, that's going to determine, do we need to go get a D tackle earlier in the draft or later in the draft? So let's go to the LBs, the linebacking core. So we have Quay Walker. We got Quay Walker out there. Then we got Chris Thomas. Then we have Xavier Sorry. And I gotta name all these guys because this is the thinnest part of I think our defense. Saguna Alubi. It's like the defense. I mean, this linebacker core is thin like Brock hairline. Um,
You ain't never lied.
Cameron McGrone, Cody Lindenberg, Brennan Jackson, somebody we brought in, I think. Tommy Eichenberg, Jacoby Dean, and that is it. I'm going. Y'all didn't in the chat. Y'all didn't say what y'all grade this D line. What are y'all giving the D line a grade? Can I see that in the chat? Give them a grade now. So for this linebacking core, this is the room where I have the most concern. I'm more concerned with this room than I am the wide receiver room. I am very concerned because if we didn't go out and get Quay and Walker, we would be in trouble. This would be an F room. I'm sorry. This room would be a straight. And even with these guys, I give it. I want to give it a D because with Quay Walker and Dean, I think it would. I think those are C's. But okay, maybe I'm not knowing about these guys. So let's say they're B minus together. So from a B to the D, it's a C. So I'm gonna give our linebacking core a C minus, and I'm being very, very nice about that, in my opinion. I give this linebacking core a C minus because, for one, the guys that multipliers, the force multipliers at this position, one is injury prone. And I'm holding my finger in my breath, hoping that he don't get injured this year and the injury bug escapes him because it bit him so many times. So I'm giving this linebacking group a straight C minus, and they're gonna have to impress me for sure this camp, and more so during the season with staying healthy.
Stop giving my answers, Black.
Sorry, man.
No, I'm just playing. C minus. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I've been saying this about the team, but it really shows it in our linebacking room. We are top heavy, and as soon as one of those guys is laid out on the grass, yeah, we in trouble. You know what I'm saying? We can't rely on Lindenberg. We can't, as much as I like Eichenberg, he has to step up. And that's the concern that I have, is really not their play, but the health. Not just with Nakobe Dean, but also with Quay Walker. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes and with Quay Walker, and he said this, himself, is sometimes his mind ain't focused. So if they can't lock that down, and they can't stay healthy, yeah, we're gonna be in trouble in that linebacker room. So I definitely got to give it a C minus. I'm not gonna give it a D. I'm definitely gonna give it a C minus.
Yeah, for sure. We're gonna have big troubles in Little Las Vegas if if the linebacker and starters go down. So we have some players that's a tweener. They're in between positions. Let's say T-Ron Crawford and Kuntz. They can play linebacker sometime. Does that help you bring more confidence to that position? Does it change the grade at all for you? Because for me, it does not. But it just makes it a more solid of a C, maybe. But I still see it as a C, like a 73%. Like,
Yeah, I don't, and the reason why I don't, it doesn't add anything to it, because I just see them as pass rushers, and I don't. If we're expecting for Keyron Crawford and Malcolm Kuntz to lock somebody down coverage wise, we're already in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Like, they might be able to cover for a short stint, but if it's a situation where that D line is not fully getting home and they're in coverage a little longer than they should be, yeah, we're in trouble. So I don't necessarily, as much as they may be classified as linebackers, I still consider them to be pass rushers per se.
yeah,
When I think of linebackers, I think more of coverage. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that's
Well,
how I
the
grade.
ability to drop into coverage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And yes, I do grade my tortas the same way. Straight
Hmm.
out. So I see a lot of C pluses though. I see Cool Kev with C plus. Bruce Willis has C plus. So they're a little bit more confident than I am. Um, about our linebacking room. I have watched some tape, but not a gang of tape. But like for me, you can be good, you can be all world, but if you only playing half the time, I mean, like, unless the earth is flat, it's only going to be a half of a job done. And I don't know. I just don't. I don't feel good like our quarterbacks being like that, injury prone, and I don't like our linebackers, especially in this defense, to be injury prone, because we're thin. Not only are we thin there, um, we're lacking productivity there. So
Like, and that's the other thing. Like, and that's kind of why I have a concern about this too, defensively, just in totality. You know, the and I know it's not going to be all the time, but they're saying that we're going to try to run a 3-4. What does that mean? 3 D linemen, 4 linebackers. What 4 linebackers? Right? Like what 4 linebackers? And
That's a
especially
good question.
if you're looking at you know what I'm saying, week 12, when players are injured, you know what I'm saying, or they're hurt, but you know what I'm saying, whatever, hurt or injured, whatever, you got injury, you know what I'm saying, concerns at that time of the season. So what 4 linebackers?
So maybe it'd be Kuntz and Crawford on one side, Hay and Crosby on the other side. See, and then that would require Maxx to drop in the coverage. Yeah, you're right. Well, what 4 linebackers, right? CN Sloan. I'm hearing that name pop off a lot because the thing about him is what like I heard like the good Raiders say they drafted him as an edge rusher, but he don't have any sacks. So they're not drafting him to be an edge rusher. They're probably drafting him. I mean, like they're signing him to be a linebacker, and that doesn't really move the needle a whole lot because it's kind of like just a body in that position.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's going to be tough because you raise a real good point. What 4 linebackers are we talking about? We're that's the spot we're thinnest at. So yeah, that's a concern.
And that's why they have Kuntz, you know what I'm saying, classified more as a linebacker, because you're not wanting, you really are not trying to have Malcolm Kuntz be responsible for setting the edge, as small as he is on that line. You know what I'm saying? Like yeah, can he do it? Yeah, maybe, but you're not really relying on him to really, you know what I'm saying? Like, as much as people hate him, we knew with Tyree, you know what I'm saying? Like, Tyree was big enough to set the edge and you know what I'm saying, situations. But you got these like you said, these tweeners, and yeah, you're going to be in trouble if they decide, okay, we just going to run it that way.
Yeah. So that's gonna be tough right there. You can't turn a quarterback into a linebacker. You're on fire, Bruce Willis. Yeah, they made him a DN. Right. So that sounds like that's going to be the question mark, but I don't know. Let's see because we have a brand new secondary, a lot of young players. We have a young team. Let's look into the secondary. Let's look into the DB room, and this is going to be safeties and corners. And the reason why I'm putting them together because I know in this defense they're going to be interchangeable. Stooks is going to be playing um, free safety at times, and he's going to be playing nickel corner sometimes. So I'm going to put all the DBs, and all the DBs generally share the same room. So we're going to put all the DBs together. So here is our DB room. I don't even know who this guy is. So we have Jeremy Chin, Dalton Johnson. That's my sleeper guy. Teron Johnson, Devin Lafayette. I've been hearing good things about him though. Hezekiah Masses, Ramad McCoy, Isaiah Paul Maui, Darian Porter, D. Cam Richardson, Eric Stokes, Braden Stokes, Greedy Vance. I love that name. I just like a DB named Greedy. So, what do I think about our DB room? Now, I think this room is going to. I think this room is going to shock a lot of people this year. It is a young room, and generally, when you have young DBs, there's issues. I mean, we saw that last year when they had Caillou Blue Kelly and Caillou and Darian Porter, and they started with Caillou and Caillou. They picked on them true to form, like they do the rookie corners. They picked on them, and then the nation was talking about Caillou. It's Caillou. I liked Caillou. Just need to give him more time. But they put in Porter, and he was over there getting French toast. So he was getting burnt, so they took him out, put Caillou back in there. So I'm saying all that to say is when you have a young secondary, they're going to test them. We're going to have young safeties, young corners. We've got Jamal McCoy, there's questions on. But for me, though, overall, I'm not going to lie. I think on paper, going into the camp, I think that our DB room is a B minus. I think our DB room is a B minus. I mean, arguably it could be a C plus, but I think it's a B minus because from what I understand from Jamad's injury, I don't think it's going to be an issue. So we're going to have somebody that we really can rely on. Uh, and he doesn't necessarily have to come in and start at the corner from game one because we do have Mouses. And I think it's going to be a sleeper for a lot of teams. I think the nation, they're embracing him. And, I got love for the hometown, that Cal Bear. So I think he's going to do just fine. Just do like Coach says, we're going to see how you tackle. And so we have some players there. We got a lot of versatility. We got Teron Johnson. As long as he stay healthy, he's going to bring some stability there. Dalton Johnson, I think, is the sleeper in all of this. And him and Stooks together is going to be very, very good. It's going to give versatility to Stooks, so that way he doesn't always have to be the center fielder. As far as our box safety, it doesn't get any better. Paul Malo, I think, is going to be great there. He can even play some free safety a little bit now that he was French toast last year a little bit too. And so he kind of got some experience. I like how he's always been learning and getting better. And Jeremy Chin has just been solid. So I think overall, our DB room overall is a B minus. So I'm going to give them a B. Hey, my bad.
I give them a B. I like their young group.
Really?
I think they got some things that they need to shore up. I'm not as high on Palomal. We'll see how he's deployed this year with having some options. You know what I'm saying, there in the safety room. But I like Stokes. I like Teron Johnson. I like Hezekiah Masses is stepping up. You know what I'm saying? And we got to see what we haven't seen yet. But I think a lot of us are optimistic on concerning injury, how Jamal McCoy is going to work out for us. So I like that fact that Porter can sit and and learn. Yeah, he got roasted and toasted, you know what I'm saying, last year. And I think him sitting behind those guys, true corners, I think he'll be better because again, he's almost like a Lucky Tassi in the sense of he has everything that you would like out of a corner. Tall, fast, you know what I'm saying, lengthy, you know what I'm saying, can has ball skills because he was a wide receiver. So I'm if you ask me, what room am I higher on? I might even say corner. And I know I'm adding that, but I give it a B.
Oh, that's good. 'Cause I'm higher on our safeties. Honestly, I think our
Okay.
safeties is what's going to be really really solid. I think our corners are going to have a little bit of learning curve because although Stokes play real solid, I see a little decline this year because they're going to try him more.
You think
Depending
so?
on who the corner is on the other side, because if you mess around and put masses in, right, they're going to test masses first because they're going to be like, he's little. Let's see if he can tackle. That's the knock on him that he's not physical. He got all the other attributes, but he's just not physical. And that's in
Mm.
part why Kubiak called him out like that in a competitive way. And to see, hey, you look good with with the shorts on and the t-shirt, but I need to see when you put them pads on when it's bow time and you got to make a business decision. Speaking of business decision, make sure y'all hit that like button and hit that subscribe button, and you feel me right underneath here so you can hit the subscribe, and then we could pop on your screen whenever you see us go live. And make sure you do the same for my brother, Rudder Twine, as well, because he's out here getting it. And I appreciate that he pulled up and hacked in with me. So make sure y'all do that. But when you have to make a business decision and you have to, because tackling is a heart thing.
Yep.
And if he shows that he got that, because in today's NFL, corners have to tackle. It used to be a time corners didn't have to tackle that much. Even the great prime time, you say they don't pay me to tackle, they pay me to cover. Well, in
Mm.
today's NFL, they pay you to tackle now and cover. So if Hezekiah could do his thing and they test Stokes a little bit more, I think it'd be a small decline, but I don't think it's going to be really, really bad. But I think our safety position, which is going to be the position that we really, really liked last year, is going to be night and day and night.
Honestly, Black, I kind of disagree with you on the testing of Stokes. I think it would be the other way around.
Mm.
I think in regards to a quarterback, when he drops back, he's going to choose: am I going to pick the vet or am I going to pick the young buck? You know what I'm saying? And a vet is going to be like, I can beat a young buck any day. You know what I'm saying? Just in their mind. I'm not saying that
Right,
that's
right, right.
how it's going to end up being, but like, who am I going to test more? Am I going to test the vet or am I going to test the young buck? And I think they're going to lean more testing the young guy. You know what I'm saying? Over the vets. Now, like I said, yeah, he can get tested. I mean, all these corners are going to get tested at some point. But if you ask me like what a quarterback's preference is, yeah, I think he's going to try to pick the young buck any day.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I can agree with that for the simple fact that that other corner position is a who's who because, you know, we could throw Porter out there, which I don't think we're going to do, but a lot of people are high on Porter because he has the measurables. But
Mm-hmm.
I like the fact, like you said, I like the fact that we don't have to throw him out there again because we do have some true corners out there that really can play the position, at least a few weeks until we give Porter a chance. And if he go out there and do his Dougie, then he can stay on the field. But at the same time, if Jamal McCoy is as advertised, then it's gonna be it's gonna be trouble. It's gonna be trouble because the only thing that everybody gonna be other teams are gonna be relying on, hoping that he gets hurt. Knock on wood if you're with me, and I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
So, with that said, we did the D line, the linebackers, and the secondary. So my D line was a 3. I gave the linebackers a C, so that's 5, and I gave the corners a B, so that's 8. So 8 and 3 is like a C plus. I give it a C plus. What's the grade you give? You you gave the secondary.
A B.
Oh, so we have the same grades: B, C, B.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's about a C plus, which is about on par for me because I think our offense is going to be better than our defense, right? So I got
Mm.
our offense at a B minus, with Coach Kubiak at a B, and I have us at a C minus. just with the players alone. Now, here's the caveat or the multiplier, the
I was hoping
bonus.
you was gonna go there. I think I kind of know where you're going, but go ahead.
Yeah, with Coach Robbie being the D coordinator now, does that increase us? Or does that decrease us because he's a first year coordinator? I know we don't know how he coordinates. We don't know if he wear the mushroom belt with the mushroom tie with the mushroom socks. We don't know if
Mhm.
he coordinate
Yeah.
good yet. But just in your mind, what you think, does he takes us from a C plus to a B minus, or does he take us from a C plus to a solid C or C minus? What are your thoughts on that?
I'm gonna have to take it down one.
I knew you was going there.
I'm gonna have to take it to a C. And the
Mm,
reason and it's for that reason. This is the first time he's a defensive coordinator. And I think, I'm hoping, this is fingers crossed with all my Raider gear on. I'm hoping that he's not biting off too much. You know what I'm saying? Biting off too much that he can't chew. Cause for him to, based off of his, press conferences and stuff like that, he wants to be multiple. You know what I'm saying? And you being a first time coordinator, but also trying to do all this stuff, I I I just don't see that being, I don't want to say successful, but I just don't see it, you know, I'll just say it like that. I just don't see it. I would like for him to possibly say, hey, this is what we're gonna do, then we're gonna do this. This, you know what I'm saying? And he might be that way. He might have steps to get to, you know what I'm saying, where we're a multiple, you know what I'm saying? Because that multiple defense is a dangerous thing. One of the, a couple of years back, I was wanting Wade Phillips. You know what I'm saying?
mm.
Because Wade Phillips got, that's what Wade Phillips does, is he brings in a multiple defense, and it be, it be scaring people because they don't know what's gonna come out, you know what I'm saying, week to week, you know what I'm saying? But because Wade Phillips is been in it for decades, you know what I'm saying? He's got the resume, you know what I'm saying? So you can kind of be like, okay, Wade Phillips is doing this. This is what we doing. Da, 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 da. Well, we got this young pup, and this is his first. This is his first whack at it. So yeah, I gotta take it a dip down. Um, and hopefully, like I said, hopefully he can put it together. But it might be a little shaky if he's trying to install a multiple defense with young guys and a young young defensive coordinator.
So are you dropping them down to a C or a C minus, or
No, I'm
all the
taking
way
it.
down?
I said, I think I said C plus, right?
Yeah, you
So
start off
yeah,
at C plus
yeah. So I'll take it down just one, one
to a C.
to a C.
Okay, well, I definitely can see that, and I almost want to agree with you on that because first year defensive coordinator, being a D coordinator is difficult. I just think that this group that we brought in is going to be a cerebral group, highly educated. We're bringing in guys that can pick up multiple schemes and versatility and things like that. Now, how long does that take to translate on the field? I think that's going to take a couple seasons. I do. And I think it's going to take him a couple seasons to get comfortable. But with that being said, I'm confident in where he is, his approach to the game. I think he's been in it long enough that he understands what he's embarking on. I don't think it's going to be too much. I just don't think that he's going to be able to be the guy that he envisioned. I don't think he's going to be at the level that he would want to be at after year one, but I don't think it's going to be a hindrance to us. So I'm not going to say he's going to knock it down, but I don't think it's going to bump it up either. So I'm going to leave it at a C a C plus. And I think that's what our defense is going to be, a C plus defense going into camp. Uh, just because I don't think he's going to hurt us. I think he's going
Mm.
to kind of tread water. And then next year, after he has some time to sit down, go through another training camp, look at a lot of tapes and film, and critique his own performance, then I think that that second year we'll see a jump. But for now, I think he'll be a C plus coordinator, and I think our defense is a C plus.
And Black, I'll say this too in regards to Robbie. I think, you know, the leash on Robbie needs to be just as long as we got with Kubiak. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we really want that defense, if because I love his idea. I'm not saying I don't like what he's trying to
Right,
cook, but I think it's
right.
going to take with him being a young defensive coordinator and then what he's trying to do, it's going to take some time. So I don't want it to be a situation where, you know what I'm saying, he's out there and, you know, the defense ain't looking good, and then now we're putting him on the hot seat. Like, I think we need to allow him at least, you know what I'm saying? I know Kubiak probably has a longer leash per
Yeah,
se, but I think we need to at least give this a good year, 2, maybe 3, before we say, hey, it was nice knowing you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I
yeah,
think we need to really let, you know what I'm saying, Robbie's ideas cook. And then, like you said, he needs to, you know, he needs to grade himself. You know what I'm saying? And whoever his mentors is, because I know they got some mentors in, you know, coaching staff wise. Coaches, you know, that mentor need to be like, hey, get it together or whatever, you know
right,
what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So I think because that's also can be a dangerous situation. You got, you know, a young, passionate defensive lineman, you know, defensive line coach that now is a defensive coordinator. He knows who's in that room on the D line. So, you know what I'm saying? That should be, in my opinion, that should be the first thing, you know, that should be the straw that stirs the drink for us defensively. But along with that being said, you got this young defensive coordinator with young guys in there. If he can grow with these, not grow these guys, but grow with these guys, who knows what this defense could be? You know what I'm saying? Where these guys are in their second and third year with Robbie Leonard, and all Robbie Leonard has got to, all Robbie got to do is like this on the sideline, and they know exactly what Robbie Leonard's
right.
talking about. You know what I'm saying? Just the
Mhm.
subtle, you know, body language and mannerisms where, you know, they see Robbie Leonard doing one of these or something like that on the sideline, and they know exactly what time it is. You know what I'm saying? That's how these other defenses, these solid defenses, that's how they're created. They get all these young guys together, they keep them together and in the same system and everything, and then now they're out there running defense like drinking water.
Right.
And that's what we need to create. So I hope, like I said, I hope we don't. I hope Raider Nation don't be flaming, bruh. You know what I'm saying? And I hope, you know what I'm saying. Yeah, you know, give him his stuff when he needs it, but don't just be trying to fire, bruh. Because that's the issue with us in totality. We can't just be. This ain't a fast food chain. This ain't In and Out. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And we can't be having these coaches just go in and out and expect for us to have a good product out there.
No,
Just in my opinion.
definitely. No, I concur with that because I think Kubiak, because Kubiak have like a 5 year window, 4 or 5 year window, and I think that we should give Coach Leonard like 2 or 3, really 3, real. We should give
Mm,
him 3. Now, from what I've been hearing from him, he's telling players, look, play fast, play hard. You know what I'm saying? If you make a mistake, cool, we can coach that. So as far as the continuity and knowing what he wants, I think he's putting that out there already.
mm,
He's already put what his expectations are and how to play, and then not to be hung up on too many things. He don't want you to be out there second guessing yourself or thinking too much. He don't want that. He wants you to react, and respond. That's what he wants out of our defense. And if we do that and we make mistakes, cool. The first year, all right, this is what we keep doing repetitively wrong, or this is what's happening. What can I do to stop putting these guys in that position? What can I coach these guys so that they don't get caught in this situation, so you don't become a repeat offender? That's something that I heard um, coming out of camp. Let's not be repeat offenders of mistakes. Do your 111. Focus on your job and do your thing. And whatever they put you on the field for, whatever that thing that is that you do that. Because he's putting you in there for that reason. If he putting Conker in there because we need pass rushing from the D tackle or the interior, go in there and do that. Don't go in there and try to be everything. Don't try to be the run stopper and get sacks. Do what it is that you do well and just do that very, very well. So I think he's already put that out there. I think they understand that. I just think it will take some time because the guys are young. And like you said, we need to have some grace and give this guy a little time to mature into the position. But if our offense takes off in year two and we get a receiver and all that, and our offense is like top 10, you know, defense needs to be somewhere in the middle, because the one thing that we kept complaining about in the Derek Carr era is no matter how well Derek Carr played, we never had a defense to complement him. So consequently, half the nation think that Derek Carr is a bum because we never won anything with him. Like, because we never had a complete team with him. So now if we can have a middle tier defense with an upper echelon top 10 offense, then you can't tell me we're not going to the playoffs and making noise.
Mm.
So that's how I feel about that. So chat, go ahead and put your guys' grade in there for the defense. What do you guys got for the defense? What do you have for the players? And does Coach Robbie add to it, or does he take away from it, or like I said, somewhat in the middle? I guess we can go over special teams real quick. Let's just do with the kickers and the punter. Long snapper is kind of hard to grade them guys, you know. So, but let's say we have two kickers in camp. We got Matt A with the G being silent, and then we have the Tokyo Toe, presumably, right? And then we have our kicker, which is solid. So, what do you rate our special teams?
C minus.
Why is that?
With the A on AJ Cole.
Right.
So do the average.
Right, do the average.
do the average, and you'll know how I feel about our kickers. I do like Tokyo Toe, but he is a college guy, and I'm hoping that he beats out, Matt G. But yeah, that's one of the acquisitions I did not like. So yeah.
Yeah, me too. I was kind of skeptical about it in the beginning, but a couple things here. I heard that Matt A with the G being silent uh, was kicking a little bit better in camp. So the see, this is a position you don't have to necessarily wait till the pads come on in order to kind of get an idea of how good your kicker is. Um, yes, of course, when you go live and then they try to block it on special teams and stuff like that, yeah, that adds a little bit of pressure, or whatever. But the most pressure come really in the game itself, for real. So not so much in the off season and things like that. So I heard that he did kick some 55-yard plus field goals. I have a problem with if our kickers can't kick 56, 57, 58, and 59 somewhere in there, we got a problem, because the league is kicking them helium balls 60 yards now. You can get a return, get 2 first downs, and kick a field goal from there now. So we need to have kickers, and plus we've been spoiled with Janikowski. Like, We was like, what's that? 57? Oh shit, he gonna make that. It's the 43 yarder that he might miss, but the 57 yarder, we thinking he gonna make that. So we've been kind of spoiled with Jenna. So it's hard for me to grade because even with the Tokyo Toe, the story is beautiful. I know everybody want to go out and get the jersey. And some people gonna get characters on them, not even knowing what it say. Think it say Tokyo Toe. Is gonna say 2 egg rolls on it. You don't even know what it really say, and we're hyped about that. But he is a college kicker. And in college, they don't really let you kick 55 yarders that often.
No.
So I don't even know if he really got the toe to do it. So with that being said, I'm gonna average it between a D and an A, and I'm gonna come up with C plus because of I'm gonna give it a C plus because of we just don't know what a college kicker can do, and Matt A with the G being silent, we don't know, and plus he came from the 49ers, so I already feel some type of way about that.
Yeah, and the reason why again the pause for Tokyo Toe is because of, you know, if he was if he had the NFL leg per se, he would have either been drafted or, you know what I'm saying, because they do that
Yeah,
stuff in the 7th round. They'll you know what I'm saying, or
yeah,
he would have been undrafted free agent, real quick. Like they would have been like, oh, we got to go get, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying, so and so, and there was like 2 or 3 guys this past draft where they were like, okay, those are guys that are ready to go, pretty much, ripped them out the plastic and they're ready to go. Well, that wasn't Tokyo Toe's name didn't, you know what I'm saying, what wasn't a part of that. So it's really on how he doesn't count. But I'm hoping, like I said, I hope he beats out Matt G, because I rather be spending I ain't trying to spend money on a kicker that be missing kicks.
true.
If that's the case, we could have just kept Daniel Carlson, because Daniel Carlson was kicking 60-yarders. So,
Yeah,
you know what I'm
true.
saying? And that's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Some people was
Yeah,
like,
although his stats
it's
were
time to
going
go.
down, at least he did boot. Yeah, I mean, like maybe he should have got his confidence back and with a new regime and all that, because I think he got a little relaxed,
Yeah.
and he kind of played himself out of position. But yeah, yeah. So I don't know. Overall, I got our team going into camp maybe like a C plus overall team. And I think that's where we are, middle of the road team, going into camp without knowing anything really. But on paper, I think we've made a jump from being in the bottom to somewhere in the middle. So overall, I'll give our team probably like a C plus, bro. So what do you think so far? This going into camp,
Uh,
and I know it's tough, but I'm just saying, like,
I'm more a little south. I would
mhm,
say I do like the C plus, but I'm kind of probably leaning more towards C.
really,
Yeah.
okay, I can see that too. Whether Paul was good with your brethren. No, I can see that. I mean, I'm not even opposed to that. To say the dude Tokyo Toe any good. I mean, like they say, he's pretty consistent and all that, but it's just I don't have a problem with that. I just have a problem with the range. Like we need 55
Yeah.
plus yard field goals with a consistent clip because there's going to be a lot of games that we play that are going to be close, and then if we end up losing those games by field goals or missing a couple field goals or missing a field goal early in the game that turns the momentum and all that other stuff. Then those are how games are lost and won in the little cracks of the game. So I'm not sure yet. I don't know. I won't see until maybe like preseason to get an idea of what it looks like. But I don't think we're gonna hold 2 kickers though.
And I think also you remember, you know, everything is not in a dome. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna need there's gonna be
Facts.
times where we're gonna be in Chicago and it's gonna be windy as hell. And we're gonna need that guy that got the 50 yarder, you know what I'm saying, to kick a 35, but because the wind is blowing so hard, it's like a 50-yarder. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
Yeah,
you need that, you need those guys that got the distance when in perfect situations, because when there's situations that are not so favorable, that's where, you know, that's where it plays in. Like, again, we seen Daniel Carlson kick a 60-yarder. We know he has the leg, but there's going to be times where that, you know, that 40-yarder is just like a 60-yarder just because of the rain or whatever is going on, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying, at the stadium that we're at.
yeah. The elements definitely play a role in that, and it takes its toll. Um, so that's what we're gonna need to know that. And like this comment say, like it says, like he better be better than Carlson because Carlson cost us some games last year. And I agree, he did cost us some games last year. And that's what made me like really look at what was going on with him because he was pretty reliable for us. And then I went and looked at his stats, and he just progressively just was his percentages was going down and down and down and I'm like, oh, that's why they got rid of him. But like you say, if we bringing somebody in that's equally as accurate but don't have the toe, I'd rather go with the toe that we know than the toe that we don't know.
I mean, because you got you I mean, like, and you know, as much as we love Janikowski, you know what I'm saying? Janikowski wasn't super accurate, but we knew that
Right.
he had we knew he kicked the heck out of the ball, and
Yeah.
because he could kick the heck out of the ball, we had a chance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's what you want. Like, I rather, hey, let's take a shot at it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And let it be what it be. But, you know, and that's just my perspective on it.
No, I agree because I hate for the ball to be in line, but then be 2 yards short or 3 yards short, right?
You know?
Because it'll look good, right? It will be like, oh, that's right down the middle, and then it'd be short. Like at least when Janikowski kick it, we can see if it's either left or right, but we know it's gonna get there though. We
Yeah.
know it's gonna get there. The question is it left or is it right? You know what I'm saying? So I agree with you. Maybe we can bring Carlson back in the camp. I know that's me dreaming. I don't know, but you never know. So
Yeah, you know, that's a question, because it is, are they cool with the competition in the special you know what I'm saying? Like, with just two guys, because I know they usually bring what they call in the camp leg, but
yeah,
I think they need to really put some pressure, you know what I'm saying, on those special teams guys. You know what I'm saying? I know we love AJ Cole, but we need to have somebody else come in and you know, do something in the punting game, just to keep keep AJ Cole honest. We know, again, AJ Cole is him. You know what I'm saying? But bring
right,
somebody in that might be able to push the envelope, just say, hey, don't be sleeping, because you might get
right.
slapped.
Yeah, because he got very comfortable. What's up with you, Redder Jason? Uh, he kind of got too comfortable. Now, did they release him because of the money he was making? You know, which I could see, but I think we should have brought in competition in the camp, really. But like you said, I don't know. I hope they're bringing in more legs because if it's between these two guys, I just don't know how I feel about it. I just don't. I don't. I just don't. I don't know how I feel about our kicking game because it's going to be like we're holding our breath every time we line up for it. Like that's no confidence. And
Mm.
like I said, we're kicking 60 yarders now like it's the thing to do. And and that's because they're using a new ball. But
Yeah, I was gonna
still,
say,
with all
now
that being
with the
said,
ball.
yeah, with all that being said, though, we need kickers that can really get the ball there. And if you just get it there because you put all your leg into it, then your accuracy is going to go down.
Mm.
Well, that's the cue. Let's see here. So, is there any players in particular one player that you looking forward to paying attention to in camp?
I mean, I think everybody's looking at it. Jamal McCoy. You know,
Yeah.
because they're really putting bubble wrap on them. At this point, I would like to see the progression of Lucky Tassi. Um,
Mm.
he was O line now. He was D line, and he was O line, and now he's D line again. Um, yeah, I think that's about it for me.
Yeah, I'm looking
Hunter,
forward to seeing Traden Stukes. I want to see Traden go crazy.
okay,
Um, I'm looking forward to Dalton Johnson out there with his limited time and see if he can
true.
get on the map and do his thing. Uh, I'm looking for Jack Best to have a breakout because people keep talking about him. I'm gonna do a video breakdown on him because people kept saying that he couldn't get separation. And as I'm looking at film at other players for other things, I'm seeing things that Jay Best was doing, and I was like, "Oh, he's getting it in." Like he blocks very well. Like from what I see, he's a good blocker, and
Mm,
and I see and I've seen him get separation. Because NFL Open and college Open is not the same, people. And when you're
true.
a big body receiver, the guy can literally be on your back and you still could be open if the quarterback throw the ball right. So I'm gonna probably do a breakdown. So I'm looking for him as well. And those are the guys I'm really, really got my eye on because everybody else I kind of have an idea of what they're gonna do and the whole O line, how that's gonna play out. Well, really just two positions. I need to know how that left guard position is going to work out and the right tackle position.
Yeah,
So, what are you guys thinking? What are you guys looking forward to in camp? Raider Jason, I know you just pulled up. Maybe you can go on the playback, but what we did was we broke down every group and we gave them a grade going into camp. We said O line's a beast. Finally fixed it. So, what do you? So Raider Paul, what would you give our O line going into camp? What's the grade would you give our O line going into camp overall? And same thing, Raider Jason. What do you think? Oh, for you is running the ball. Okay, so for you, what do you grade the running back room? You said an 8 overall. Okay, so what's that? A B? Was that a B grade?
yeah,
We were going A, B,
yeah,
C, and D. So that's like a B grade. So you give the O line like a B. Okay, and you give the running backs a 10. Okay, that's a straight A. Okay, Raider Jason, he give the running backs a B plus. So what do you guys give the quarterback room then? What do you guys give the quarterback room? And then I got one more for you after that one because I'm really curious of that. The O line is B until proven. Getting in Washington, 2-1 punch, 1-2 punch. Yeah, he gives the quarterback room a B. Curious to why. So if you give the quarterback room a B, what do you get? Okay, so Raider Paul give Mendoza a 10, but I'm just saying, as a quarterback room, QB room is a 6. He don't like Cousins. Is you is tripping?
you don't like my
Son?
cousin?
You don't like my coach? Yeah, he's leaving room for improvement. Okay, so what do you give the grade for the wide receiver room, y'all? What do y'all two give the wide receivers?
Yeah, that
You
room
see, I
is.
never have. He's never like when he said you like that, and you was like, no, absolutely not. I don't.
Hey, it's gonna be interesting. I wonder what he's going. What is he going to bring to this team? In
Yeah,
returns to you like that and the Kirko.
yeah, yeah. I think he's gonna do his Dougie. You guys are giving me numbers. So what's a 3? A 3 is like what? A D or F?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm saying the wide receiver room. Is that that's like a D or a F? He said wide receiver is a question. Wide receiver 3, and that's being generous. Eesh. We still need a number 1 wide receiver. Wow, you guys sound like you got a lot of concerns on the O line. I mean, on the offense. Okay, he said he give them a D. Woof, woof. Well, of course. Okay, y'all. Well, for those that's going to watch this on the playback, give us your grades in the comment section. Give them a grade in the comment section. Still need a number 2 too. He said we need a number 1 and a 2 receiver, a number 2 receiver. So you say draft a wide receiver in the first round next year. So would you give a first round and third round for a wide receiver of the likes of a Justin Jefferson? If not him, I'm just curious. If you would go in the first round and get a wide receiver, would you give a first and a third for a wide receiver like Justin Jefferson? Maybe not him, but like him.
Who, me?
No, yeah, you can answer it too. But I was talking about. Oh, he said, yeah, he'll get him real quick. Raider Paul said he would. Raider Paul said the tight ends is a straight A. He said we have 5 number. Raider Jason said we got 5 number wide receiver 3s. So would you get a Justin Jefferson or a
ASAP.
type Justin Jefferson type receiver for a 1 and a 3?
ASAP.
Yeah,
And
Rocky.
because again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier about how we need a wide receiver that's going to instill fear in other teams, and he's that guy. You know what I'm saying? Also, with that, he's a young guy, so he fits with our timeline. You know what I'm saying? I forgot how old is JJ. I think he's like 20.
27.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's about like 27. Like, so that works with what we got. So yeah,
Okay.
he would be great for Kurt. He would be great for Cousins for reasons, right? And then he would be also great for Mendoza. You know what I'm saying too.
Yeah, for sure. A 1 and a 3 would be a steal to me because essentially we just be giving up a third rounder for him. That'd be a steal for me because I mean, like, there's no wide receiver. I don't care how much y'all like whoever coming out the draft. They're not JJ. So, but like you said, we had a chance to get him, but we took Ruggs. Ouch. Yep, a couple people said that, right? Yep. Yeah, Raider Paul said he wanted to. He said, but JJ had a knee injury already. He's damaged. Well, it didn't show itself this year in his career, but uh, I just was curious about that. I was curious about what you guys thought about that. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, that like button on both of these channels. And you know, like how I like to finish our shows, brother. You got a word for us?
You know what I do? Show love. Show love. Choose to show love.
I like that.
Everybody has a choice. You have a choice to go this way or that way. Cuss that person out or let that person live. Choose love. The reason why we got all this stuff that's going on in this world that's crazy is because people lack to choose love. Think about if everybody decided just to love. No, I'm not saying you got to be extra and all that stuff, but just, you know, be respectful, be kind. You know what I'm saying? Don't be stealing, don't be killing. The whole, that, right? If you just choose to love, the world would be a better place. And I guarantee you, your life would be better if you chose on a daily to love.
Yeah, I love that. I love that for sure. You know, when I on the channel and you guys were there, especially the guys that's there before we even go live, the people that support, that's love. Because you do it not because I deserve it, but because you want to do it, and it helps, and it also inspires, like it inspires me, and I know that it's appreciated the hard work that like content creators do and we put in. And you guys could be spending your time somewhere else, but I don't even want to talk a whole lot after that because it don't get no better than what my brother said. So I love y'all. I hope y'all love us. Brother, I love you. I know you got love for me too because I don't have to ask you. I can see how you act and I can see how I can see the fruits. So
Yes, sir.
until then, I'm a Raider. He's a Raider. You're a Raider. To the Bay, to LA, to Las Vegas.
Love y'all.
A Raider, I'm a Raider. From the Bay to LA to Las Vegas. Recipes to Al Davis.